What is going on? I'm gonna show you guys how to make a quick, simple, vegan quinoa recipe that is loaded, it's packed with nutrients. I'm gonna give you guys a little rundown of what I use to make this recipe. Hopefully you get an idea of the ingredients I'm using and you can make this for yourself. So with all that being said, let's get to it. The first thing I wanna do is gather up all the ingredients I'm gonna use in this recipe. For this recipe, I'm gonna use quinoa, sweet potato, parsley, toasted chickpeas, cherry tomatoes, celery, red onion, lemon juice, olive oil, pimento olives, and jalapenos. When choosing the ingredients at the grocery store, I choose as many organic ingredients as possible. If I cannot find organic ingredients, I will try to source the ingredients locally. I want to start first by preparing the quinoa. I'm gonna measure out 1.5 cups of uncooked quinoa. I'm gonna rinse the quinoa and place it in the rice cooker. I wanna be sure to use just enough water to cover the quinoa and be mindful to not use too much water, as this will make the quinoa soggy. When you're all done with your quinoa, it should turn out something like this. Next, I'm gonna start preparing the produce. I'm gonna dice the sweet potatoes in bite-sized pieces, then I'm gonna toss them in avocado oil. After I toss them in avocado oil, I'm gonna place them in the air fryer for about 15 minutes at 400 degrees. I'm gonna check on the sweet potatoes every 5 to 10 minutes to make sure they're cooking evenly. For this recipe, I'm also using toasted chickpeas. You can buy these in the store or make them yourself. These right here have been soaked for 8 hours, tossed with avocado oil, and have spices added to them. After the toasted chickpeas, I'm gonna start preparing the celery. I'm going to slice the celery small, and when I'm done with that, I'm gonna put them to the side. After the celery, I'm gonna cut the red onion. Once again, I'm gonna dice the red onion into very small pieces. After the red onion is diced, you wanna place it on the side also. The cherry tomatoes for this recipe can be cooked or left raw. I prefer the cherry tomatoes cooked because it adds more of a bottom layer of flavor, or a umami. Once that you cut the tomatoes in half, you want to put them to the side if you're gonna eat them raw, or if not, you want to place them in the air fryer at 340 degrees for about 10 to 15 minutes. Once again, you're checking on the cherry tomatoes every so often to make sure they're not burning. After the cherry tomatoes, we're gonna start to cut the parsley. For this recipe, I'm using a curly parsley. However, you can use an Italian parsley and it's gonna work just the same. I'm gonna chop the parsley into fine pieces. The next step is gonna be chopping the jalapenos and pimento olives. Now I want to also chop these in very small pieces, as if you leave big chunks, they're gonna add a lot of flavor or spice to each bite. Next, I'm gonna cut the lemon in half and place both the halves on the side. I wanna take my cooked quinoa, which is now warm or cooling, and I wanna take half a lemon and squeeze it into the quinoa. After I squeeze the lemon into the quinoa, I'm gonna add my olive oil. For this recipe, I'm using about 3/4 of a cup of olive oil. This olive oil was purchased from Costco. It's organic and cold pressed, and it was a very reasonable price. After I place the olive oil in the quinoa, I wanna give the quinoa a quick stir, and then I'm gonna start gathering all the other ingredients for this recipe. I want to gather all my pre-prepared ingredients and get them ready to mix in the quinoa. The first thing I'm gonna add to the bowl is the quinoa. The quinoa cooks into a little over 4 cups of cooked quinoa. I'm gonna place that into the bowl, and then I'm gonna start adding my other ingredients. The next ingredient is gonna be the parsley. There's about 2 cups of parsley, 1 cup of red onion. I'm gonna add in a cup of celery, half cup of toasted chickpeas, 1 cup of sweet potato. I'm gonna add in my jalapenos and pimento olives. The jalapenos are about 1/6 of a cup, and the pimento olives are about 1/4 of a cup. I'm gonna give the bowl a quick stir, and about 4 teaspoons of salt. And if you didn't catch by this time, I forgot to add in my cherry tomatoes. So I'm gonna go ahead and add those in now. After I add in the cherry tomatoes, I'm gonna give the bowl a couple quick stirs, and there you have it, a loaded quinoa parsley salad. Alright, that concludes our video today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope this video brought you any sort of value, and I hope you guys try to make this recipe for yourself. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that subscribe button below and give this video a thumbs up. I'd really appreciate that. And I'll see you guys next time on Plant-Based Vision.